Kurt, happy Monday, man. Good to see you on here. Thank you for jumping in. Just drinking a little combination I got here. Aminos, electrolyte, a little blend of things. My first cardio Q&A since what, Monday maybe? Man, I feel like I haven't been on here in a while. A lot going on since that baby came. Exciting time though. Feels good to be on here. I know I'm a little late, but I'm gonna try to get back consistent with this now. We'll see if some people log in. Otherwise, maybe I'll head over to Instagram. But I'll stay on here for a few minutes and see. Very exciting time. Cardio Q&A. Let's see who comes on here. Josh, Sway. Enzo is doing great. Thank you for asking. He's been a lot of fun. He's really, really chill. He loves to eat. And he sleeps. And that's it, really. He's really cool. He's really cool, man. He's doing good. A little scared the way he came into the world. That was a scary experience. I mean, I think I was pretty calm for it, but it was intense. It was intense, but I had a lot of faith. Also, the nurses were just phenomenal. Everybody in there was phenomenal. I will say that before this all went down, we did a tour of Boca West. It seemed great. And then we were set up to do a tour of Boca East. And it was very difficult to line up the tour. And I was like, well, so far, Boca West was a lot more accommodating. And then the day that we were supposed to actually go in for the tour, that wound up being the day that he decided to come early. So the reason that we went there is because both of the doctors, the specialist and her OBGYN, both said if they were having a baby, they'd pick Boca East. So I was like, all right, well, if that's what the experts say, let's go there. And I'm glad that we went there. I have nothing else to compare it to, but it was a really outstanding, it was a truly outstanding team they have over there. Thank you for asking, Sway. Yes, I am on the treadmill, Darren. You killed me with that teacher sexual story. Oh my God. Oh my God. Man, listen. Usually when they do those teacher sex scandals, right? Taki Dust Hurts My Eyes. Welcome, welcome. Good to have you here. Cardio Q&A, you can ask me anything. So usually when they do those, right, the teachers are always good looking. Either that or they only just show the good looking ones all the time. Like, it's so weird to me. First of all, where were all these good looking teachers when I was a kid? When I was a kid, first of all, there were no teachers that were under 45, I would say. They were all pretty ancient. Definitely no good looking ones. A lot of crusty ones. So nowadays, you got these young, good looking teachers banging kids in school. But this one, whew, this was a terrifying one. This was a terrifying, I need to see the rest of this story on this one. Kurt says, oh shit, I've been away from social media. Congratulations for you. Thank you so much. Kurt says, having kids has truly made me a much better man. Enjoy every moment. Thank you so much. I'll tell you, Kurt, I think just having a pregnant wife made me a better man. So I think you gotta be right about that. It seems that every guy I know, for the most part, I'm trying to think, every guy I know, even the ones that were good already, became better men when they had their kids. And that's good. That's the way it's supposed to be, right? So Sway says, my son couldn't maintain his blood sugar when he first came out to this world. NQ alumni. Yeah, that happened. Sway, that happened to Enzo too. His blood sugar was only like 30, so they put him on glucose for a couple of days. How scary is it watching them run an IV into that tiny little body? I mean, if you think about it, how many times, well, maybe you guys haven't all been through this. I've had my blood work done and IVs and so many times. I'm excessive with stuff. How many times have you gone and they either missed the vein or blasted the vein? And I have huge veins. You know what I mean? How do you do that on a tiny little person? You got to get the little vein in there. Crazy. I'd be so scared to do that. Kurt says, and I gained so much more respect from mom and wife. Way stronger than I am. Yeah, man, Marissa, I'll tell you, she is as strong as they come. She's as strong as they come. Also, I'll tell you, working out is everything. Marissa worked out her entire pregnancy. And I don't mean like, you guys have seen the videos. I'm not talking like pink girl dumbbells. She works out hard. She trains hard. And C-section, they cut you open, they take out all your organs and stuff. It's a pretty serious surgery. A lot of the girls in the hospital, they're going out of there in wheelchairs. They're getting wheeled around because they're so messed up. Dude, she was walking around the next day. The nurses were telling her to chill out. They were like, you don't even seem like you had a baby. And I just think her body's just very strong. Zionic, what up, brother? What up? Your son is 6 now and he's thriving. That's what I like to hear, man. God bless you guys. That's great. Yasin's in the house. Irani, what's going on? Yeah, he's doing good, man. He just eats and he sleeps. He chills. He's super chill. It's great. His little umbilical cord nub fell off today already on the 6th day. Marissa was a little worried that it was already fallen off, but it looks fine. Welcome, Yasin. Welcome. Badabuko, thank you so much, man. Thank you. I'm glad to be back on here. Listen, having a baby, I'll tell you, having a baby, that first week, very catabolic. Listen, the moms do all the work. They get all the praise. But sleeping in that little bench in the hospital, being all nervous all night, it's a catabolic experience. Maybe I should have blasted some Deca before I went in there. By the way, while this was going on, exciting news, my page has monetized. Thank you to everybody that comes in here and hangs out all the time. I don't expect to be bringing in the big bucks anytime soon, but it's a nice accomplishment to have. So we got the grandparents here, Marissa's parents helping out this week, which is nice. I heard them come in when I started. I'll tell you, one of the things that is a very, very big decision with the baby is the vaccinations, man. All the vaccinations. I think in the next few years we're going to see some changes. I don't think it's going to happen overnight, but I do think that there's a lot more whistleblowing and a lot more going on. But I do think that we're seeing vaccinations. And that's scary because kids can't even go to school if they're not vaccinated. They make it that way. So if you choose to not vaccinate, you pretty much have to homeschool your kids. I did read that there are some ways of religious exemption. There's a lot to it, man. There's a lot to it. When I was a kid, 81, there were a lot less vaccines than what they do now. It's literally tripled since then. Kurt says, one thing about kids is they bring about an overprotective mentality and make you proactive about dangers and consequences. Daughter's first field trip, I was anxious, not like me. Yes, I could see that. And I'll tell you, Kurt, I thought that I was going to be having a daughter, and I was mentally preparing for it. And I even though I would love to have a daughter still, the first one, I kind of had a little bit of a sigh of relief that it's a boy, because I feel like it's just going to be more stressful with a girl as a guy, personally, especially the kind of guy that I am. So, you know, I got a lot of friends that are girl dads. I feel like with the boy, I'll be a little rough with him, you know. You don't got to worry about him meeting, you know, the girl. You got to worry about her meeting boyfriends and all that. Woo. I would still like to have a girl, though. That's for down the road, though. Zionic's son turned 7 in September. Beautiful, beautiful. Watch. It's good. I like to see all the good dads sharing their stories, man. I've had a lot of dads come out to talk to me, tell me how much they love being dads, which is great. Tanya, good morning. Good morning. TVKK. You have one of each. I think that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it, Kurt. I'd like to have one of each. I'd like to have one of each. Now they tell you guys, here's an interesting one. So, for this beginning stage, obviously, there's a lot of recovery going on Marissa's part. And you can't have sex for the first 6 weeks, which is fine. But after that, apparently, she's going to be super fertile for a while. So, got to be really careful with that, because I'm not trying to get her immediately pregnant again. I was not aware of that. Interesting bit of information. I've learned a lot these last few days. I'm sure I'm going to continue to keep learning a lot. Anyway, first leg workout as a dad today was a good one. Reduced my volume just a little bit, because it's been a lot for the last few days, getting adjusted here. Use the push-pull system. That's it, man. It works for bodybuilders. No, Zionic, listen, my mom, listen to my crazy-ass mom. My mom had me when she was 18 years old, right? Which, listen, I know back in the day they used to do that shit all the time. I'm thinking about myself at 18. Oh my God. Having a kid, that would have been terrible. My mom had 4 kids before she was 25. Talk about crazy. She just cranked them all out. And I know a lot of kids that do that, man. A lot. My buddy Dane, you guys remember Dane from the Project Freak series? He's on his 4th baby on the way now. What the hell? He's just cranking them out. That's what him and his wife want to do. Hey, God bless them. God bless them. I would like to really enjoy little Enzo. And, you know, I think it would be a good idea for me to be off probation also before I start firing off any more kids. That's just my 2 cents on that. Oh, so listen, guys, I gotta share this with you. I just got some blood work done a week ago, and I'll tell you, the things that they say that SLU PP332 can do, I have very, very strong personal evidence now that it is true. The changes in my blood work, which was pretty good last time. You know, I'm kind of crazy. I do my blood work every couple months. So in 3 months, so one of the things that the SLU PP332 does is it has a very profound effect on cholesterol. So this is an interesting one that I'll share with you guys. I'm probably gonna do a whole video on this. So my total cholesterol was not very high last time. It was 188. Not bad, not bad. But my good cholesterol, little on the lower side, right? 31. So that ratio is not very good. The ratio is very important. My cholesterol, total cholesterol, dropped 42 points. That's nuts. But my good cholesterol went up 11 points. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. This is the craziest thing about it. I blasted Anavar 50 milligrams, right? I blasted 50 milligrams of Anavar, which unfortunate side effect of Anavar is it'll tank the good cholesterol. It'll tank the good cholesterol. And it may be even higher. It might have been even higher had I not done that for the first 30 days. So very, very impressed by that. Very impressed by that. Badabuco, that is partly true, partly not true. So yes, cholesterol is absolutely needed, but what is most important is that you have a healthy HDL LDL ratio. They want it to be less than 3-to-1. That is what is ideal. The total number is nowhere near as important as the ratio itself, and you want to have, the higher you have that good cholesterol, the better. So anything under 35 is considered on the low side, but a lot of bodybuilders, man, they're down in the 10, 15, 20s. So if you want to get that number up, unfortunately, a lot of the things that we do negatively affect that number. For instance, anastrozole, which if you're going to be pushing some tests, you may be using some anastrozole, kills that number. Oxandrolone, probably my favorite oral steroid of all time, kills that number. So you have to combat that in a lot of different ways, right? So to me, this has been a battle of mine for years because I never had any issues with cholesterol, but I've had to really work to get that good number up, right? So I've seen it at the best it's ever been for me in the 50s, which I was pretty happy about. I've also seen it, I'm not making this up just to be dramatic, I've had it at 8 right after a show one time, which is not the lowest I've ever seen. Guy Sister Nino had a 5. I was like, dude, you're gonna die. It's just something that happens with a lot of the stuff that we do. So I take a shitload of fish oils, I do a lot of things, and I fight to keep that number better. So I was prepared for that number to be down because of the oxandrolone, and I was kind of curious to see where it was. To see that it went up like that is a very, very impressive find, along with all the other things that the SLUPP332 does. I have not had blood work this good in as long as I could remember. And that's the main thing that I've added in. You know, I like to add things in and then do blood work before and after. That's kind of the way that I prefer to do it. Another thing that I thought was pretty impressive on there was my kidney function is typically pretty good. So my creatinine on my last blood was 1.13, which is pretty good, especially for a big guy training hard. It was 1.01. I've never had it less than 1 before. My GFR, which is your EGFR, is a way that they look at how well your kidneys are filtering, went from an 83, which is decent, to a 90, which I was very happy about. That's much better. It scored out of 100. And then I'll tell you the craziest one was, you know, when I got out of prison, so I've been home from prison, obviously, guys, a little over a year now. And the worst things were things related to eating too much carbs in prison. Triglycerides were crazy high. A1C was 5.7, which is high for me. Insulin was high. So I ate, I've talked about this before, I went with a ketogenic diet to really wipe those things down in the beginning. But now, even eating, I've been eating, now I'm off the sloop, by the way. Taking a break for a while to see what happens. Eating all those extra carbs that I ate on the sloop, my insulin went from 8.2 to 3.4. That's crazy good. That's crazy good. So, truly remarkable. Its effect on carbohydrate metabolism, incredible. Incredible. So anyway, hey, listen. Obviously, I knew when I was in prison that it wasn't good for my body. I would say within 6 months, I had fixed a lot of it. Within a year, it was looking really good. But now, man, I'm really, probably the best blood work I've had in many years. Tanya Miller says sunlight exposure helps a ton with lipid profile, by the way. Absolutely. That's another thing that you get screwed with in prison because you're trapped inside. Dominic, thank you so much, guys. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Any tips for tiredness from GH? Red Devil, when do you take it? Are you taking it at night? Are you taking it in the morning? When are you taking it? You may just want to change the time that you're taking it. For me, I did mine before bed for years because it made me tired. You're right. But I found that I slept very deep with it at night. Now, some people will tell you that is not the ideal time to take it. Some will say that it's better to take it in the morning. I've currently switched to do it in the morning just because I'm curious. And I don't have any negative effect as far as being tired, to be honest with you. But I also have caffeine in the morning. So you could perhaps try a different time administering it. There's many different schools of thought on when you can administer GH. You know, there are people that like to take it right before they do cardio for fat burning effect. There are people that do it before bed like you do. There are people that have religiously take it in the morning because in the morning is when it's the lowest because your body pulses it at night. Tanya Miller says, if someone wants to donate the tired effect GH gives them, I'll take it for sure. Yeah, it affects everybody. It affects everybody differently. I did think that it made me sleep a little deeper when I was taking it at night, which I don't necessarily get that now that I've switched to the morning for the time being. Will GHRP6 instead help? I wouldn't. If you have actual real GH, I would use that over any of the secretagogues or peptides. You know, if you want to add that stuff in and take them at different times, you can. I know guys that do that, but if you've got the actual GH, comparing what the secretagogues and peptides do, not even close. Not even close. And anybody that tells you otherwise is just trying to sell it. They're just trying to sell it. Don't get rid of the real stuff, bro. I'm telling you. No, no, no. You want to use them both, you can. You can lower your dose of the GH a little bit and incorporate that stuff in and take them at different times. But I wouldn't get rid of it. Yeah, I personally haven't had any interest in doing the CJC, the GHRP6s myself. I've collected a lot of data from people that have used it. Some people will say that it gives them like a rash where they put it, things like that, strange little side effects. But comparatively, none of that stuff is going to be as good as GH. The GH makes the face, I disagree on the GH making your face grow ugly. I've been using GH for years. And if anything, people have told me now that I look younger than I've looked in a long time. As we age, this is a fact. As we age, our faces actually continue to grow. So your face will grow until the day you die, very slow and steady. That's why when you look at an old person and they have huge ears, you ever notice that? They'll have those hanging earlobes, their noses are gonna be bigger. Your face will continuously grow until the day that you die. It's a very strange little phenomenon. So part of it is just the process of aging. But, you know, one thing that's great about GH is that because it has a positive benefit on collagen synthesis, as you age, you start to lose collagen in your face, which is a reason why so many women and men do fillers and whatnot in their face. So but the GH will actually give you that effect without having to do that. It's not extreme, but you won't lose the volume of the face. Yeah, there's no way that that's true about the GH changing the way that your face looks. Look at Suzanne Summers. Suzanne Summers aged beautifully. She was on GH for fucking 40 years, you know? No. Generic GH worth it in your opinion? Nope. Kai. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your money. Listen, there's probably some compounding pharmacy that makes some actual good generic GH, but I've yet to see any of it. And a lot of people that come out and say, oh, well, I do 10 units of GH, or I do all these crazy units of GH, they're all using generics. Because when you have real pharmaceutical GH, you can't use that much because it fucks you up. You really can't. You might be able to progress your way up to that over time, or do it for a short amount of time. But once you start getting up past like 3 or 4 units a day, you start holding a shitload of water, your hands start getting fucked up, your feet start getting fucked up. Did GH make your joint tendons strong? I will say that it makes you recover at a much faster rate. So what I mean by that is, I don't think that you're really going to notice it unless you stop. And when you stop and your elbows and knees and everything start aching a lot after a couple weeks, you realize, wow, it was having a profound effect there. So I guess that in a roundabout way is tendon strength, right? But I think it's more of what your tendons can handle. I wish that I had GH when I was young and I was training like a maniac. Perhaps I wouldn't have gotten hurt so many times. Although I am very injury prone for whatever reason. Bean Smasher, what's going on? Red Devil says I got much stronger and I was natty at the time on 20s, pulling especially. Yeah, I'll tell you, if I had GH when I was training in my 20s, when I used to train really, really heavy all the time, I don't think that I would have had all the injuries that I had. That's the main thing. What I always tell people are always like, oh, I don't feel anything. I don't feel different. People tell me, I don't feel tired, I don't feel this, I don't feel that. I say, you probably won't feel anything. It's not like when you take 50 milligrams of Anadrol and you feel strong, or you take a 25 milligram ephedrine pill and you feel crazy, or if you blast a high dose of testosterone, you get really aggressive. It's not like that. It's not like that. It's what you notice over time. It becomes part of your life. So that's one of the best things about it, is that you're just consistently good and better. And what happens is, this is what happens, guys. You come off of it. I came off of it before my wedding for 2 weeks. You come off of it, and all of a sudden, you look at yourself in the mirror, and you look flat and softer. The scale goes down a little bit because you lose some water, but you typically feel way less full, and it's a good full that you get on that GH. And then once that passes, the first week or so, then all your little injuries start to hurt worse. Oh shit, I must have hurt my knee a few weeks ago. It's starting to hurt now. Oh, my elbows hurt. Oh, my shoulder's really achy. All those little things come back. And you gotta adjust. You gotta adjust your training to it. You have to adjust your training to it. And you say to yourself, that's when you say to yourself, I've had this conversation with so many of my friends over the years. Holy shit, I better get back on the GH. That's what you say to yourself. Now, I'll tell you some other strange things that you'll notice being on it versus off it. When you're on it, you're going to be cutting your nails and toenails all the time. You're going to be needing more haircuts because your hair grows faster. And that's just all part of it. 150-pound dumbbell over 20 reps is beast strong. But listen, low consistent GH dose has a profound effect on recovery, fat burning, and 100% when combined with some testosterone. Or honestly, I know a lot of girls that do GH and nothing else. They do a little bit of GH, and it really helps with consistent progress. So, what is the cost per month? So the going street rate, now these things change all the time. A lot of it depends on who you know, who you don't know, who wants to screw you, who doesn't want to screw you. The going street rate for a kit of Serostim, right, good old-fashioned Serostim, is $650. Now, how long that lasts is up to you, because there's 118 IUs in a kit of Serostim, right? So you could do the math. If you're gonna do 2 units a day, which is a lower dose, but still good enough, we'll just round the math to 120, divide it, that's 60 days. Now, obviously, if you're doing 3 units a day, 4 units a day, things like that, you're gonna be going through it faster. You can't, so listen, back in the day, guys were taking Cytomel with a GH because of that. I don't like to have to take any extra drugs. All my thyroid production still looks very good. And listen, maybe I'm just lucky. But like I said, either I drink a coffee or I'm drinking a pre-workout in the morning, and then I'm going all day long. So the tiredness isn't anything to me. Now, maybe you're somebody that just really doesn't want any stimulants. Or you might want to look into some other reason why you may feel so tired. There could be more to this. Mark Dog, good to be back on here, man. I missed you guys. And thank you so much. We're so excited. We're so excited. Now, I will back to the GH subject as far as what you're going to get out of how much we're going to spend a month. Serostim is like the Toyota Camry of the GH world. Everybody knows it, everybody's used it, everybody likes it. Now you start talking about like the genotropin pens from Pfizer, norditropin pens, things like that. They get to be a lot more expensive because they're much harder to obtain. All of this stuff, for the most part, is going to be done on the black market. Now, there are certain HRT clinics that will prescribe omnitropin. They'll prescribe Zamactin. And I'm going to tell you, you do it through an HRT clinic, you're going to spend a lot more. Oh, yeah. You're going to spend $1,500, $2,000 a month. Because they don't really want to prescribe it. Some will, but they're going to bang you on your checkbook with it. Anyway, 37 minutes in. I think I'm going to wind up out of here, guys. I appreciate you guys all coming on here. I'll probably pop over to Instagram real quick just to say what's up to everybody over there. But try to get back consistent with this now. We'll figure out the times that are going to work best. Obviously, sometime in the morning. And, get into a good routine here. Baby eats every 3 hours. And, these first few weeks are super crucial, making sure everything's perfect for the little guy. But I appreciate you guys. And, hey, everybody's got to make money, Kai. I'm just happy. I'm really happy, Kai, that you can go to the doctor and get all this shit now. Because back in the day, it wasn't until probably like 2007 or 8 I found a doctor that was cool enough to write testosterone prescriptions. Nobody was doing that shit back then. Now, it's been almost 20 years, a lot has changed. Now they're everywhere. And that's wonderful. So back in the day, it was all either coming up from Mexico, coming in from some other country, you had to meet a dude in the gym, you had to basically obtain it illegally, so one of those things that's worth paying for, And listen, if all you want to do, if you're just, aging gracefully and you're starting to get up into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and you just want to cut back on that aging and increase the quality of your life and optimize your life, just getting on that testosterone isn't expensive. It's not. People spend a lot more, man. Girls be spending money every couple of weeks on their lashes. You spend more a month on your lashes than you will on the testosterone. So anyway, guys, appreciate you guys. I'll be back on here tomorrow. Like I said, I'm going to get back into being steady with these. I love you all. God bless you guys. Have a fantastic day. Hell no, Tanya. Hell no. That GH is going to keep you looking fine way longer. All right, guys. Love you guys all. God bless you guys. Peace out.